Hi, this is a test. This is only a test for the Tap Into Your Genius series, where I will soon be interviewing Judy Hoberman. Right now, we're just going to practice bringing her on. So watch us practice live. Okay, so what I have to do, if you're doing a live presentation, you have to invite your friend in. If you don't invite her like on a regular basis, then you have to go look. And where is her name? I don't know. Oh my gosh, it says live. That's why I'm doing a test, so I don't have to do that. So I'm inviting her right now. Her name is Judy Hoberman. She is the champion of the star ladies of the world. Wait, she empowers women in the workforce to be all that they can be. Wait, sorry, the little thing. Look at that. Bring her on camera. It's already working. Hey, Alan, this is just a test. All right. So, but thanks for watching. All right. Yes, I'm adding Judy. She saw the invitation right away. So, adding her, it's adding. It does the calculations. Hello, Judy Hoberman.
Hello, Deb White. How are you?
Good. Okay. Hey, can you tilt down, or is that hard to do with your what do you call it? Your stand?
My
In the
stand. Is
business, we
that
call it
better?
the tripod. It's a
The
tripod, Judy.
tripod. Yes, the tripod. Is that better?
We get a little less headroom here.
So where do
Like
you want
bring
me
your
to
head,
go?
just tilt down a little bit. That's awesome.
Is that better?
Okay. That is, oh, I feel so much better now. Okay. All right. Since we started, and I started in such a silly way, and we have 7 live viewers, I'm just going to go with it.
Okay.
How's that for radical?
Sounds perfect.
Well, Judy, this is part of Mindset Monday,
Well, I
where
love Mindset Monday.
where we're going to help viewers, including you and me, to radically change our mindset so we can create amazing, new, significant changes in our lives.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask you something, and I'm going to maybe refer to a post that you did just a little while ago, but not right now. I want to ask you first something I might have mentioned to you a little bit earlier, like in your life, in your business, in your life, what did you do to change your mindset that really started getting some really great results, where you started seeing things really starting to change?
So I know, and I think I posted this a couple of weeks ago, that we talk to ourselves more than we talk to anybody else.
Hmm.
And so a
Yeah, you
lot of
did.
times, right? A lot of times in your head, you start to say things and you start to believe it. And then when you
Yeah.
believe it, that's what you show up as. And I remember coming into
Hmm.
different environments and just being kind of like, I don't know, like not a wallflower necessarily, but not anybody that you'd really want to hang out with either.
Hmm.
And so I had to keep saying to myself, what am I doing? How am I showing up? Because that's not me. That's not who I am. And so I started changing the tapes in my head. When I would get up, I would say, this is going to be an awesome day, or I'm going to meet amazing people, or there's going to be opportunities in front of me. And I just have to be aware of what's in front of me. And a lot of times you're not. And especially when everybody's looking like this, they look down at everything and they miss everything that's in front of them. So
Hmm.
I reword, I rewind some of the tapes that are in my head. And I've had some pretty hard tapes in my head for
Hmm.
many, many decades. So I just try to rewind them all the time.
So, how were you able to successfully change them and say something else to yourself?
Because most of the time, the things that we are hearing in our head are not true anyway. And we have
Hmm.
just said them for such a long time that we start to believe them.
Yeah.
I've always been told that I would never amount to anything, that all I was pretty. I never, I had no brains and so on and so forth. So imagine as a female in business and a speaker, imagine getting up in front of a crowd and that comes right to your head, like right before you walk on stage. You're never
Oh,
going to amount
wow.
to anything, nobody, you have no, brains or whatever. So before I do anything, I always talk to myself and say, like, I'm pretty awesome. And if no one else thinks so, I don't care because I do. And so that's how I
Right.
show up. I show up for me first because I have
Yeah.
to walk out there and then I show up for everybody else. But who you see is, I mean, this is it. This is who I am.
Isn't this the struggle of most people, maybe everybody?
It totally is. It totally is
They
until you
had,
start to
they had,
believe what you're saying.
mhm. they had some jerk in their life, whether it was a friend or somebody at school or even a parent, and you begin to believe the crap you've been told over and over again.
Yeah.
Um, I think the powerful thing is that we can do the opposite by taking that action. We can rewire our brains. We can create new neural pathways that we get a habit of telling great things to ourselves. We create a habit of success, a habit of, beautiful things, a habit of meeting wonderful people who can raise us up to a higher level. And then those things begin to fade away. We begin to create new mental habits that empower us.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting thing, Jeff, because many years ago I was going to do a telesummit, and I knew who I was inviting. I knew why I was inviting them. I knew all of that. I did. I knew it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was going to invite people that Sunday at 6 p.m. I was going to send out everybody's invitation and inviting them to be on a telesummit with me. And a few
Yeah.
hours before then, I said to my husband, I'm not going to do it. And he said, why? And I
Hmm.
said, I'm not well known enough. I'm not famous enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. And he said to
Yeah.
me, like, he said, you have to stop that. He said, do you know who you are? I mean, obviously I know who I am. He said, he said, you're very magnetic. People want to be around you. You have very high integrity. People trust you. And he said, if you don't do this, what's going to happen is you're going to do everybody a disservice. And so I said, okay, I'm going to give myself till 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, I'll make the decision. I already knew in my head I wasn't going to do it. I mean, I already had it there. But at 6 o'clock, what I did was I hit the invitations and I shut down my computer, totally shut it down, because I didn't want to have 24 other women say to me, so sorry, not this time. And so I shut it down. The next
Hmm.
morning, 12 hours later, I turned on the computer and every single person said, oh my goodness, I can't believe you included me. How can I support you? What can I do? Thank you so much.
Right.
And so when I
Hmm.
start to think about some of the things that have been in my head, I go back to that because that was very eye-opening for me.
Hmm. Yeah. When we step out and we face our fears, that's when amazing things begin to happen.
Yep.
I think that people. I'll just talk some from my experiences too, and just go with it. I find that when we face our fears, then amazing things begin to happen. When you take a challenge, you take a risk, whether to go speak at an event, or our friend Angel Rebo, he did the uh, uh, 20-hour marathon of interviewing people, but he learned so much, he gained so
Right.
much, and so many wonderful people came into his life, and he was able to raise more money for his charity, Wisdom for Kids, at wisdomforkids.today. But he was able to do that. And the same for me when I did my Tap Into Your Genius event. I was feeling like, oh, I'm not getting enough ticket sales. I'm going to have to work my butt off these last 2 weeks, and I don't even know how many people are going to show up. And I said, forget it. I'm just going to go for it. And so my encouragement came from Angel, who was one of the performers, and just like with your husband. And so when I took on that attitude, um, a mental change happened to me. Um, I even began
Mhm.
to say, I don't care who shows up to the event. I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm not even going to get angry at anything. You can get tense. I said, I'm not getting upset about anything. And I said, whoever shows up, I'm going to give them a wonderful performance, a wonderful presentation. And more people just signed up just the very day of. We ended up having a great event. But a transformation in my mindset was to face my fears, to go all out.
Yep.
And then I met so many wonderful people. And then rather than worrying about will I get a certain number of people to show up, I kind of learned that the right people were attracted to the event.
Yes.
The very people that would enjoy meeting each other and that I could benefit from. And I felt the same way with my course, Tap Into Your Genius, when I launched that. Um, is that, maybe I didn't reach the exact number I wanted, but it was okay with it. I was at peace with it because this is a great group. It's a beta site. I can learn from them. They can learn from me.
Yep.
But I felt the right people, the people who were ready for change, people who were, and so it was just it's been a very calming and empowering mindset change for me.
Well, you always know that the people that are supposed to hear your message are the ones that show up. whether it's 2 people
Mm.
or 2,000 people. And I actually had said that in
Yeah.
the middle. I was speaking somewhere, and it was in the Northeast, and it was an icy day, and so they were supposed to have
Hmm.
150 people show up, and about 50 people showed up, so 100 didn't. And while I was speaking, this man just stood up and he said to me, "Don't you get upset when you're expecting one thing, 150 people, and only one
Hmm.
third shows up?" And I looked at him and I said, "No, because the people that are supposed to hear my message are sitting in this room." And he said, "You really believe that?" I said, "I absolutely believe that." And then,
Yeah.
and I was good and they were good, and then the talk was wonderful. But you have to decide like what's really important to you. And for me, it's always about bringing value. If I walk on that stage and I think I'm never going to amount to anything, I'm only going to, I have no intelligence or whatever, and I go out there, what do you think the talk's going to sound like? It's going to sound like I'm,
Hmm.
I am no good. So I get myself to a point where I know what I'm about to share is valuable. I just have to,
Hmm.
make it authentic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've had a number of people pop into this, and you've got your friend Yvonne Baston watching, and
Hey,
also Jim
Don.
Steinmark.
Hey,
Jim
Jim.
Steinmark is one of the right people.
He is one of the right
He
people.
put
They're both the right
he
people.
he put it on the screen, so I had to say that.
Uh,
But yeah, let me ask you this: if you're sitting down with a bunch of female entrepreneurs or people in a company or men, what would you say to them? What would you say to them on what could be a powerful way to change their mindset and really start getting some wonderful results in their life?
well, I do speak to both men and women, and Jim and Yvonne are part of my team, so that's which is even better.
Ah,
But one thing I would say to them is you have to be real. You have to be authentic. You have to really truly believe that what you are bringing to the table is really valuable. Because once you actually
yeah.
believe that, it shows up. It really does show up. And we talk about, women in leadership. We talk about the men that champion women. We talk about changing cultures. Well, you can't do that if you don't believe it. You can't show up and say, we want to bring more women in leadership positions. We want the men that champion them. We want to change your culture when you walk in and you really believe that you aren't enough, or, this is
Hmm.
really, not the right
Fair enough.
opportunity or whatever. So you have to
Yeah.
really truly believe in what you're doing.
Um, I've got something, if I can find it real quick, that I got from a famous Broadway singer, and she's awesome. Have you heard of Sierra Bogues singing Phantom of the Opera?
I have not heard her sing. I love Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, well, she's freaking awesome, and this is what she has all over her website. And here it is right here. You are enough. You are so enough. It's unbelievable how enough you are.
And you could add to that and say, you are more than enough. Because just being
Yeah,
enough, people are saying, yeah, I don't want to be just, you're more than enough. There's so much about you that there's so many great things that are happening. You have to be
yeah,
the one that believes it though.
right.
That's the difference.
That's part of what's my mission with the Tap Into Your Genius course and site is that I just think there's so many wonderful people out there who have gifts that maybe they just sit on. They never really developed them because they're afraid or because someone told them, you can't make money that, you can't do that. And I think there's so many of us, maybe all of us, that we have these gifts and we sit on them and we know that in our hearts we want to do it. And so it's about empowering people that you can develop those gifts. You can use them and begin, because I think they come from God and that we need to recognize that, honor that, and then go for it.
And you
Um,
also sometimes have to have that person that has the voice to be your accountability person, or the person that has the voice to be
mm,
totally objective. That's why there are coaches out there. Everybody needs a
yeah,
coach. I don't care who you are, and I don't care to what extreme you use a coach, but everybody needs a coach. Elite athletes have coaches. It's not like they just get up there and throw a ball or hit a ball or catch a ball or kick a ball. They have coaches that teach them every step of the way. Why is that different with
absolutely.
people? Why is that different? Why shouldn't we have coaches?
Yeah.
I have coaches. We all have
Hmm.
coaches. And if you can't afford to have a coach, then you find somebody that's a mentor. that, can at least meet you once a month or something like that. They could just
Hmm.
listen to the nonsense you're telling yourself, and they could say, are you kidding, right? Because look at what you have here. And you do a disservice if you don't share it. You do.
Hmm. What do you think of the concept of a mastermind group, joining one?
I love masterminds. I love masterminds, and they can be all different types. They could be by gender, they could be by generation, they could be by industry. But a mastermind is really a way for you to be with like-minded people that are there to support each other. There's no agenda. There's nobody that's, the person that's in charge. These are all people in a collaborative environment. And it's very interesting the dynamics that go on in a mastermind. So I love masterminds. I do masterminds, and I just think they're awesome.
Okay, that's great. I think that with that Sierra Bogues, I think one of her points when she says it, because I've got a little more history reading the website and seeing some of her
Yeah.
stuff, is that when you're saying that you're enough, is that, and this is part of what I like to talk about too, is that we are all unique, uniquely made by God. There will never be another person like you again in the history of the earth, and there hasn't been before. And so people often try to be a copy. They try to be like, let's say Sierra Bogues. I want to sing like her. I
Yep.
want to be like Judy Hoberman, the lovely speaker and author. But no,
Be
but
careful what you wish
they
for.
might. I'm gonna. Wait, oh no, no, that might be kind of good. Okay, so, but I want to be like them, and so they try to be a copy, and so people don't want them because everybody wants
No.
an original. They'll pay a little bit for a copy. They'll pay $1 million for an original, and everybody's an original. When you begin to honor who you are, who God made you to be, then people are attracted to you like crazy, and you get success in relationships, with your health, with your business, and things like that. How about that?
I totally agree with you because when you're trying to stand out for, in what you do, you want to be the expert, however you want to call yourself. What they look for is what makes you unique. It's not what makes you stand in with people, it what makes you stand out. And sometimes the
Mm,
quirkiness and
I like
sometimes,
it.
the other little things that make you so different is what people are looking for. And here's the
Mm,
challenge with that,
mm,
Jeff. People go on to Facebook and Instagram and all the different social media mediums, and they want to be just like someone. Oh, I went to sleep last night and I made $1 million while I was sleeping. Well, that's probably not true, but
right.
yet it's, they're out there every day
Mm-hmm.
saying that. So people are going, like, why can't I be that person? I want to be that person. Well, what if you just did what you did, took your talents and you did what you did best? Because what makes you unique is why I
Mm-hmm.
want to work with you, or I want to deal with you, or whatever. So I think that you have to claim your uniqueness. And some people don't want to do that. Some people want to be just like everybody else. Most people want to be most people. They don't want to be this.
Mm, mm. Why is it, and how can we change it? How can I don't know? Maybe they see it a different way. They can be empowered this way.
Well, it's much easier to be similar to everybody else. It is because everybody's already accepting those people. So why can't I be those people? But
Mm,
when you do something
yeah.
that you're a disruptor, or you're somebody that is making changes, you're an influencer, you can't be like everybody else because why would people follow you? You have to give people a reason to follow you. And everybody is followed by somebody. So what is it that you're doing that
Yeah.
makes people say, I want to learn from that person. I mean, I
Right.
understand that it's much easier to be part of the crowd, and it's much more difficult to be the leader. But, did you ever see the video of the leader, the first guy that gets up at a music festival and starts to dance? He just does this crazy
Yes, I
dance.
saw that.
And then the second person, and
Right.
then
Right.
okay, what made him stand out, and what made that first person follow him? That's what you have to think about. What
Mm-hmm.
made him unique? What makes you unique? Because that's what people are looking for. They're not looking for the same program from everybody else. They're not looking for the same, you know, uh, interview. They're not looking for that. They're looking for something different, and that's what people want.
Yeah, but I think the difference is that it is empowering. When we truly become ourselves, our unique self, the way God made us, we follow our passion. in
Yep.
our lives, then sorry, the dog is going to start barking live. Don't do that, boy. Um, is that is it unleashes an amazing thing. You start bringing wonderful people to you, great things in your life, a whole new way of thinking. And this is a silly story, but I was promoting the Tap Into Your Genius event. And so my friends and other people have been seeing me post on it for like, I don't know, for weeks. And it was getting close to time. And I was sitting at a unique place downtown, and there was a picture of a monkey behind me. And I started off the video and I said, have you ever had a conversation with a monkey? It doesn't go so well. Why don't you come down and Tap Into Your Genius where you can talk to some amazing people? Something. And she said she came because of that.
Right.
Because she goes, that's Jeff's sense of humor. So I'm coming down. And so she had a great time, and she's actually in my course now too. And so what do you think about that?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's a reason why people are attracted to people. There's a reason why people are considered magnets. It's because they do things that are a little bit different, but what they're doing is valuable to other people. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody want to listen to you as opposed to someone else? Why does somebody want to listen to me as opposed to somebody else? There's things that I do that people like. There are things that I do that make people comfortable. There are things that I do that make a difference.
Yeah.
That's why they choose that. But I have to be comfortable with me, and I am comfortable with me. When I have those old tapes in my head, I have to get rid of them because I know that's not me. This is me. And so that's what I do. I mean, I practice what I preach.
Yeah. Well, I think it's stepping out, getting past fear, putting yourself through certain challenges. I think it is being yourself, and then that it begins to unfold. You begin to see that, and you see the people are truly attracted to you for who you are.
Yep.
Well, Judy, I want to let you get ready for your big program that's coming up at noon, right?
Yes. You got it. You got
And
it.
how can
It's my radio show on
all our
W4WN.
viewers how to spell it slowly so they can how can they go look it up and like listen or download?
Okay, so they can go to, it's the letter W, the number 4, the letter W, N, Women for Women Network. And you could just Google that, and you can listen live right from right from the website. It says listen live. You click on that. Or if you're connected with me, you can click on anything that I've posted over the last few days and just click on that. And it's going to be a good show today because it's all about being stuck. How do you get unstuck and what causes you to be stuck? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, just send me the link. I'll put it on top of this this video here on the post, and then they can click and go listen to you at noon.
Yes, sir. And I
and
sent you
become
the
unstuck.
link. That's right. And I sent you the link in the messenger for you.
Awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, Judy, thanks for coming on. When I know you're so busy today.
I appreciate you, and
okay.
you're doing great things, and people are coming to watch you and listen because they like what you have to say. It's all about you.
Right. Okay. Well, you have a good day, and thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
All right.